Imagine walking past a school custodian in a small town in Ohio. Let's just call him R. If you passed him in the hallway or saw him out in the staff parking lot, you'd probably assume exactly what most people assume, right? A guy just getting by, working a modest job, living modestly because he absolutely has to. But here's the thing most people get completely wrong about wealth. 4 years ago, R quietly achieved total financial independence without anyone noticing. I'm Zach, and welcome to Zach's Wealth Files. In today's explainer, we are going to look at the real math behind the financial finish line and why the signals we use to judge success are completely backwards. By the end of this, you'll walk away knowing exactly how to calculate your own number.
So R drives a 12-year-old pickup truck, and he brings the exact same packed turkey sandwich to work every single day. Now, to the outside world, these look like signs of a tight budget, but they actually mask a calculable financial finish line that he already crossed. His investments right now generate enough to cover his living expenses indefinitely. He still shows up to work mostly because, well, he genuinely enjoys the routine and his coworkers. His daily job is completely optional, but because he looks like someone who's just getting by, nobody has any idea.
To really understand how R did this, we need a major paradigm shift in how society incorrectly judges financial success. The brilliant author Morgan Housel draws a vital distinction between being rich and being wealthy. Being rich, that's just a current income statement. It's highly visible. It's the leased luxury car, the massive mortgage. It is literally money that has been spent. Wealth, on the other hand, is hidden. It is the money not spent. It's that modest, faded truck and the index funds quietly compounding in the background. You can easily spot rich from across a parking lot, but you almost never see wealthy. As Housel perfectly puts it, wealth is an option not yet taken. It is structurally invisible. Think about the irony here. The very habits required to build true financial independence are the exact opposite of traditional spending to look wealthy. The person in the leased luxury car is signaling a high current income, and honestly, probably high debt. The person in the faded truck is signaling low expenses, which is the exact mathematical prerequisite for building hidden wealth.
Let's transition away from these abstract feelings of wealth and get down to the concrete, verifiable facts of your financial independence number. Enter the famous 4% rule. Originating from financial planner William Bengen and the Trinity Study, the math here is remarkably simple. Your FI number is roughly 25 times your annual living expenses. If you spend $40,000 a year, your finish line is $1 million. If you spend $100,000, your target jumps to $2.5 million. Historically, if you reach this number, you can safely withdraw 4% adjusted for inflation each year, with a high statistical probability of never running out of money over a standard 30-year retirement.
But we need to be totally accurate here and look at the modern context. Does the 4% rule still work today? Well, largely yes, but there's some nuance. Morningstar's updated research for 2025 and 2026 suggests a slightly more conservative 3.7 or 3.8% withdrawal rate might be prudent for new retirees. That's just given current market valuations and longer life expectancies. Some folks even use 3.5%. But the core framework is exactly the same. Your finish line is a direct multiplier of your annual spending. And this brings us right back to R, our custodian. Because he kept his annual expenses ruthlessly low at around $35,000, his finish line wasn't some crazy $3 million, it was exactly this number, $875,000. He crossed this threshold through time and compound interest. It's just like a snowball rolling down a hill getting bigger and bigger. Not from a massive salary. He kept his expenses low and simply stepped over a grounded finish line while nobody was looking.
When people think about getting wealthy, they almost exclusively focus on increasing their income. But mathematically, cutting your expenses is a double-leveraged superpower that should honestly change how you strategize your entire financial life. Because your FI number is a multiple of your spending, permanently removing just $1,000 from your yearly spending drops your required wealth target by $25,000. Think about that. If you can live on $10,000 less per year, maybe buying a reliable used car instead of financing a brand new one, you literally just erased $250,000 from the wealth you need to accumulate to be completely free.
This contrast perfectly explains the trap so many people fall into. Take a high-income earner making $300,000 a year, but they're spending $160,000. Their lifestyle inflated, which pushed their FI target to a massive $4 million. They're basically running on a treadmill where the finish line just keeps moving further away. Now compare that to the fast track of our custodian. Modest income, but pinned expenses at $35,000, making his target under $1 million. Financial independence is not a rich person's game, it's a low-expense person's game.
Now you might be wondering, if R hit his number, why does he still mop the high school hallways?
Well, aside from liking the routine, there is a very real danger every early retiree has to manage. The 4% rule assumes average market returns, not a straight line up. The single greatest threat to a newly minted FI plan is something called sequence of returns risk. If you quit your job and the market crashes 30% the very next year, you still have to withdraw your 4% to buy groceries, right? But now you're selling off depressed assets at the market bottom. This permanent destruction of capital early on drastically increases your chances of running out of money decades later.
To protect against this, you need defensive maneuvers. 1. A cash cushion of 1 to 2 years in a high-yield savings account, so you don't have to sell stocks during a crash. 2. Spending flexibility, basically being willing to skip the big vacation if the market is down. And 3. Multiple income streams. This right here is the ultimate stealth wealth cheat code, and it's exactly why R keeps working. His modest paycheck acts as a buffer. If the market drops, he simply lives off his paycheck and lets his portfolio recover without touching it.
Look, clarity and trust beat excitement every time. So let's turn this into a concrete, actionable blueprint you can use this week to figure out your own standing. First, audit your actual annual spending by looking at your real bank statements for the last 12 months. Don't guess, look at the numbers. Second, apply the 25x multiplier to that spending number. Third, compare that target against your invested assets. But crucial tip here, exclude your primary home equity because you have to live in it and it doesn't generate cash flow for groceries. Fourth, stress test your lifestyle. Where are you bleeding money that is unnecessarily pushing your finish line further away? And finally, step 5. Acknowledge that financial independence is a dimmer switch. It's not a light switch. Reaching partial milestones provides massive life flexibility. Saving 1 year of expenses gives you FU money. That's the ability to walk away from a toxic boss tomorrow without panicking. Having 10 years saved means you can easily take a pay cut to do work you actually love. You accrue this incredible optionality long before you ever hit your final 25x number.
Now, as always here on Zach Well Files, I want to be completely honest with you. This explainer is general education, based on historical, peer-reviewed financial planning research. It is not personalized advice. Actual market returns, inflation, and late-life healthcare costs are wildcards. Your unique situation, your risk tolerance, and safety nets, like Social Security, should absolutely always be run through a licensed professional before making big moves.
But the core truth remains. True freedom is just a quiet, mathematical ratio between what you own and what you spend. It's the total absence of panic when the car breaks down, and the ultimate ability to dictate exactly how you spend your day. And the greatest irony in all of this, the habits that get you there will make you look perfectly average to the outside world. If this explainer gave you a real practical framework you can use today, please hit subscribe. And I really want to hear from you in the comments. If you cut your annual spending by just 10% today, how many years of required working would you immediately erase from your timeline? Do the math and let me know. I read every single comment. I'll see you in the next one.